Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. You know, I needed to come in here today because I'm getting a lot of messages about people suffering persecution for following the way. And hey, I sympathize with you. I'm with you. But what has to happen is that you people out there need to change your mind. You're going to have a total paradigm shift and do an assessment about the things that are really, truly important in your life. Because I'm with you. It's amazing. You could be a Christian and go to any one of these Christian religions, whether it be Baptist, Methodist, Catholic, Apostolic, Pentecostal, Seventh-day Adventist, Mormons, if you want to call the Mormons that, non-denominational. You can go in any one of those flavors, and your family and your friends, your colleagues and your associates have nothing to say about it at all. You can join the Muslims. They have nothing to say about it at all. You can become Jewish. They have nothing to say about it at all. And it is remarkable and amazing. But as soon, see, this is the reason why this thing is spiritual. As soon as you start keeping the commandments, you stop practicing sin in your life, and you make an informed decision and you choose to be holy, just like the Bible says, all of a sudden, they're interested in what you're doing, but the wrong way. They go check out who you're listening to, and they're already coming with a negative spirit. And so, hey, I'm used to. They call me a cult leader, cult member, whatever that is. I mean, I looked up the word cult, and the word cult means any religious organization. That means the United States of America is inundated with cults. But only one problem, though. We're not a cult because we're not religious in any way, shape, fashion, or form. Because we are the faith. That's just the way it is. And we walk in the way. That's what it's called. But you can expect people out there that you're going to get opposition from those who say that they love you. And the reason why you get so much opposition is because your righteousness is now reflecting on their corruption, and they can't stand it. Your light is shining bright and is condemning the darkness that they're emanating through their life, and they can't stand it. You see, when you're in all these other religions, if you are a sheep and you're claiming to be a sheep, and if you're gray, and if you still have the residue of sin where you're living in sin, you're practicing sin, then nobody has nothing to say because they're in the same condition. But when you become serious and you really truly meet the Messiah and you stop sinning, practicing sin, that's what I mean. You stop practicing sin in your life and you start purifying yourself. Now it takes time to do that. And you're walking holy and you start keeping the commandments, especially the fourth commandment. It's just as clear as day. All you got to do is open up the book and read it. Exodus chapter 20, verses 8 through 11. And all of a sudden, the floodgates open up in opposition against you. It is a bizarre behavior, isn't it? And the sad part about it is that all these people out there act like you never have been in the same situation they're in now. They act like that you have never even known the doctrine, the traditions, and the religions that you just come from. Is that not amazing? And another sad thing about it is that they will not do their due diligence to actually check out what you believe in and what you're now doing. Now, if people won't do that and they're going to act unintelligent, that's the reason why I keep telling you that the words of the Messiah is very clear. Matter of fact, let me get my Bible here. Let me turn over here to Matthew, the 10th chapter. And I want to read something. And you tell them to read it too so these people can see what kind of spirit is behind them. But I'm making this video here because I want you all to learn how to preserve yourself. If somebody is going to be around you and they create a very unhealthy environment, then you have to make a move. You need to get yourself away from those people because they're in direct opposition, and you don't need pain in your life. You have enough pain and suffering in your life rather than suffering quote-unquote religious persecution from people who refuse to submit to biblical terms, who refuse to actually read the Bible for themselves but hang on to traditions of men. I'm trying to teach you how to preserve your peace. And it's inevitable that there will be a separation. But let me read you what Jesus said himself, all right? He says over here, right here, in Matthew 10, verse 33, I'm going to start at 33. He says, but whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Verse 34, this is what Jesus said. Listen, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I mean, get your Bible, open it up. Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. I am not come to send peace, but a sword. Watch this. For I am come to set a man at variance. You know what that word variance means? That means to cut into two parts, to cleave asunder, to sever. That's what that word means. So you mean to tell me that Jesus said with his own words that he come to, look at this, to set a man at variance, watch this, against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and look at this, verse 36, and a man's own foes shall be they of his own household. Pastor Dow didn't say that. Now I'm echoing that because that's what Jesus said. And most of you are experiencing opposition either with your husband or either with your wife who say that they love you. They say that they love you, but they don't love you enough to check to see if you're really truly in the truth. You know the reason why? Because they're not following it themselves. And they don't want to follow it. What they're actually, in essence, telling you, I want to continue to keep living in sin. I want to keep continuing living my life the way I want to. I want things to go back the way it was. And that means you living the life where you're fussing, arguing, fighting. You're all out at wee hours of the night getting drunk as a skunk, whoring around, whoremongering, committing adultery and fornication, smoking, doping, drinking, getting drunk and all like that, boozing and carousing. All that is fine with them. I tell you what, for the rest of your life, you would have not had any opposition if you stayed that way. But as soon as you start reading this Bible and as soon as you start keeping the commandments, boy, your own household comes out against you like a 2-ton heavy stick. Look at the devil. Look at the devil. And the sad part about it is, again, let me reiterate this. They will not go back and check out the Bible to see what you're doing. So what they do is they go and try to find dirt on Pastor Dow, dirt on you, or dirt on the way, or dirt even on the Bible itself, rather than listening to the message. If you want to keep your peace, those who are not for you, they are against you. And just like with any relationship, if it's very unhealthy, you want to separate yourself from that relationship, or you want to do whatever you can to not cause opposition in a relationship, because these people genuinely think that they're trying to save you when they don't have enough integrity in their heart to go and find out to see what you're saying. You see if it's so or not. Because I understand it's very painful to know that at one time we all have worshiped foreign false gods. We have all been satanic worshipers, to tell you the truth. It's just literally truth. Sunday is sun worship. That's cut and clear. All you got to do is go read Ezekiel, the 8th chapter. It's in the Bible. There's no laws and statutes and commandments for the Israelites in this Bible to keep Christmas and Sunday and Easter and Halloween and all these days that they make. There's no institution. There's no law. There's nothing in here. Jesus didn't do it. The apostles didn't do it. The prophets didn't do it. Moses didn't do it. Nobody did it. But yet and still, what we're running into is the same words that Jesus said again. In vain do you worship me for the teachings, for the doctrines, the commandments of man. And you know what else you do? Full well, you reject the commandment of Yah that you may keep your own tradition. So Christians could care less if Sunday's not in the Bible. They're going to do it anyway. They could care less if the cross is pagan. They're going to do it anyway. They could care less if Easter, a rabbit doesn't lay eggs. They don't care. They're going to do it anyway. They could care less, brothers and sisters. They could care less that there ain't no such thing as no fat man named Santa Claus going to give presents to everybody. They don't care. They love the lie. They live the lie. And what they should do is be at peace, because you're not disturbing them. But this video is for all of you people out there who are receiving persecution at the hands of your family. If they will not sit down and have an intelligent, civil conversation with you, with the Bible as the authority, open, and you both can come to agreement before you even sit down, come to terms that if we're going to walk together, we're going to agree what this book says, you don't need them causing all this pain in your life. You keep your peace and you help them keep their peace. I don't know how much more simpler I can explain this thing. I mean, I thought I just got finished making it so simple even a child can understand. See, the sad part about it is these people have a spirit on them. And it's not the spirit of truth. And all they have to do is watch their nature and watch their character and watch and see the feelings and emotions and the thing that is driving them so hard to attack you. I mean, I don't understand it. Wouldn't everybody would like to have a man that is going to actually be the head of his house? A man that's not going to rip and run the streets and going to keep the commandments? Wouldn't they like that? Wouldn't every man like to have a woman that's not going to sit back and back talk him, holler and scream and shout, smoke dope and shoot coke and snort coke and heroin and cocaine? What man would not want a beautiful woman like that will submit herself to the Most High and follow him in holiness and righteousness? What in the world? I tell you what, it is a bizarre and chaotic behavior that is deeply and socially embedded in the collective subconscious of man's mind. I'm telling you, that's what it is. And not even God himself can remove it. That's why this is a walk of faith. Christians, you all need to listen to something. I know what you know. I've been there, done that. You need to try to understand what we know. And that's the truth. And that's the truth, straight way. You let the peace of Yah rule in your hearts.